Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and so recently, we caught up and you had dinner at my. Did we have dinner? I think it was too late. I don't even know if we.
Yeah. I don't think we
sat
did.
on my
We just
couch.
hung out.
But so we talked about human design,
Mm-hmm.
and you had briefly kind of you sent me a more detailed message about my human design chart later, but like gone through certain things, and I thought it was like one of the most interesting things I'd ever read, because like there's a lot of confirmation from you that I've gotten from other people and other people since then. And so I think it's an interesting topic to bring up, because like there's so many, I don't know, I think human design, it's not something that I'm like super knowledgeable about, but I understand kind of like how it's read in a general sense. But can you explain what the like basic, I guess, reading is that like you would do?
Sure.
That you did on me, and then we'll like go through it, because I think it's really interesting.
Yeah. So human design as a whole is basically just showing you your blueprint, like how energy flows within your human vessel and how it connects with other people around you. And so it really should feel like you just described, like it's a lot of just confirmation. Some people will describe it as like permission to be who you are. I like to think of it as, I think in an ideal world, we wouldn't even really need to know our human design, because we'd be living in coherence. Like our field would be coherent. We would naturally gravitate to the frequencies that connect and build out more and more. So this like human experience gets to be more and more rich. But right now we're living in a lot of incoherence, discoherence.
Having to pretend we're who we're not.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Yeah.
But it makes a lot of sense, because another huge part of human design, which was something that came through in 1987 by this person who channeled it. But he talked about this paradigm shift that we're going through. So February of 2027 is when this shift is happening. So it makes a lot of sense, because we went from one incarnation cross, which was the cross of planning, which is a lot about like authority, building things, a lot of structure, into this new one that's the cross of the sleeping phoenix, which is like rising from the ashes. So like all that stuff is kind of burning down. We're getting to the root of like what actually matters, and then that's what's going to flourish.
And this is based off like birthday, time, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's similar to like astrology, or what's other things that are based off that? Because it makes sense to me. A lot of people like don't like to say that they don't believe in astrology and stuff like that. But like the more you look into it, the deeper you look into it, like the threads and all that of it, it's pretty accurate. Like it's pretty accurate. And people, I think it's really funny, because there's been a couple people, especially like, so my boss specifically, he was like, whatever, like just saying like he's like, oh, like it's bullshit, whatever. And I was like, all right, cool, give me your time of birth, where were you born, all that, and I'm gonna do this. And I like did his whole chart, and I read it to him, and he's like, what the fuck? He's like, how did it know that? And I'm like, I literally told you. I was like, I told you. It's like, it's so accurate. Like if you actually plug in the right details. And I mean, I love to do like personality tests and psychology tests and like all that. Like I feel like it all kind of just like goes hand in hand with like personality type and all that. If you like put it back to your like human design or astrology, like it kind of, adds up and makes sense. And I find it all so interesting. And what sign are you?
What sign? I'm a Gemini.
Gemini, yeah.
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 So
what about you?
I'm a Scorpio.
Okay.
Yeah, very Scorpio. And I think it's so funny, because like a lot of Scorpios are very Scorpio, and like a lot of Scorpios also have like some type of Scorpio tattoo somewhere, whether it's like a symbol, an actual scorpion, something. And I think that's so funny, because it's something like wide across like Scorpio people. It's like, oh, you're a Scorpio? Oh, like let me just scan your body real quick, and there's just like some little thing right there. I'm like, knew it. Like almost every time there's just something there that says, oh, I'm a Scorpio.
That's so interesting.
Funny. Yeah. I think that's really
I'm not as well versed on astrology, but that's why like human design like really clicked for me. But it's fun, because then everyone has their own profile. It's like, I'm not designed to know astrology, but I love hearing about it.
Yeah, it's fun.
And it incorporates in human design. So yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, what was something that you found like most surprising when you read my chart? Like when you went through it after knowing me for, I guess a year.
I don't know. I feel like time's so distorted.
Year or two-ish abouts. Like when you actually took the time to read my full design chart, like was there something that stood out to you that you were like, oh, that's interesting, like I didn't notice that, or like I didn't, Was there anything like that?
Yeah. Well, your chart is really fun because you have so much openness.
Yeah.
So you only have 2 defined centers, which is really interesting. They're really important centers. I mean, all of them are important, but it makes sense because you have so much energy. So when I first looked at that, I was like, how are you doing this? But then you have the sacral and the root are the only 2 that are defined, and then you actually only have 1 defined channel, which is like basically gates that come together to connect those centers. So that's called a single definition. So you're like a self-contained vessel of your energy. And defined centers are where like you have reliable, consistent energy. It's like what you're here to share with the world. And open centers would be like where you receive and then you amplify other people's energies back. So like very empathic. You know, which I think that totally resonated for you to hear that.
For sure.
You feel everybody else's energy in all your other open centers. But the sacral is like your life force energy, like what you're here to do in the world is you like have tons of energy. And then the root center is also a motor center. So those 2 are connected and you can like fuel yourself, which was very cool to see. So that really stood out to me. And then also to understand that like when you're a pure generator, which is like your sacral is not only telling you whether you have energy for something, but it's also telling you whether it's correct for you. So we have like strategy and authority in human design. And when you're a pure generator, that's both of them, it's very cool to me. That's different than my design. So I love like experiencing that through you. It's like very guttural. It's not, your decisions are like not made in your head at all.
Yeah.
And that's like very much this new paradigm we're moving into as well, which is very, a lot about embodiment and getting out of our heads.
Yeah.
And not letting the distractions of like life get in the way. So you have your initial response, it's guttural, like it's like a or like they're not even words, they're sounds that you make. And your body will even like lean forward when you want something and like lean back when you're like, no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
And then to not let the because the thoughts will start to come piling in right after that. I'm sure, does that resonate with you? Where you're like, well, maybe I should because, and then you're making pros and cons lists and trying to like manage for other people.
Something that I've talked about in other podcast episodes is a tattoo that I got that I was super compelled to get, and I didn't even know why, but it was "The truth requires no belief." And I was like, okay, I need to get this tattoo right now, put it on my skin. And then I got it, and I was like, why did I feel so compelled to, like, get that on my body? Like, that's crazy. Because all my tattoos, I've felt them on my body before I got them.
Interesting.
Like, I feel them. I can almost see them in the mirror on my skin before they're in my skin. Like, it's weird. Like, I don't know. For every single tattoo that I've had, like, I know where it's supposed to be. I know where it's supposed to be placed, like, all that. And it's like, I have to get that. Like, that's something that's just going to be a part of my life. And then after I got it, I started doing like more research. I'm like, what does this mean? Like, what does that mean? Why did it like resonate, you know, so like deeply with me? And I'm putting it on like Chat and Claude and, you know, Ask RY and all these different like methods to try to see like what it's coming up with. And the best like explanation that made sense to me was that every time you try to convince yourself of something, it's wrong. And when something is true, it doesn't require any convincing. It doesn't require you to, you know, make any argument in your head. If you know something to be true, you don't have to convince yourself. So then going back and thinking in my past, like every time that I've convinced myself of something, I've, you know, heard that in my head, and then I'm just like, oh, wait a second, maybe he's not that bad, or maybe, you know, whatever it is, and I try to like convince myself otherwise. I get hurt and I'm wrong every time, you know, and then I feel stupid, and then I beat myself up because I'm like, oh wait, why didn't I just listen to my intuition? And so that's something that I've been like practicing so heavily the last couple months, like especially since you read my human design chart, and then I also got a reading recently from an astrologer, and that was like amazing and confirmed pretty much everything you said. And I said nothing to her about anything you said, or another woman that read me maybe like 3 or 4 years ago said almost the identical thing that was in the chart that you read and in the astrology chart that I got read like a couple weeks ago. And so like now that third, like the astrologer that I met with a couple weeks ago, my aunt got it for me for my birthday, which was in October last year. And I just did it, but I guess timing is everything. Like, timing is supposed to be everything. And she basically was like, you know, if there's something that you're going to take away from this, like, you need to trust your intuition. Like, your intuition is the strongest thing you have, like, for you specifically, and, like, your chart. Like, your intuition is correct. Your intuition knows more than your brain does, no more, you know. Your body knows way more than your, like, conscious brain does. And so, yeah, I've been, like, really, really trying to listen to that. So, like, anytime I'm, like, going out or going, you know, leaving the house, going to work, where I'm like, oh, I want to grab that, don't go back, get it. Like, every time, like, you know, whatever it is, anytime I'm like, oh, I don't need it or whatever, like, go back, get it, and I feel better every time.